Howdy, folks. Welcome back to the Unqualified Film Bros podcast. We're kicking off this weekend with a review of a 2024 release, our first 2024 release of the year, because Ferrari and Self-Reliance were technically 2023 movies. So, welcome to 2024 officially. I think it was around this week last year that we got into 2023. Oh no,
Was it
this
with
week
Operation?
this week last year we did Velocipaster, which was
Okay.
which
Oof,
was
that's not 2023.
decidedly not 2023, although the sequel is on the way, so stay tuned for a review of Velocipaster 2.
We'll probably be
Two
able to
Veloci,
introduce
two Pastor.
the cast and crew of that.
Anyway, speaking of animals slash job titles, segues are fun. We're talking about The Beekeeper, Jason Statham playing Jason Statham in an action movie starring Jason Statham. Gentlemen, and I'm going to start with Ben because he will love anything Jason Statham does, even if it's Meg to the Trench. Benji, start us off. What are your thoughts?
Um, this is not one of those like 5 out of 5 like critically acclaimed movies, but this is a 5 out of 5 entertainment movie. This is just bad
I
guys
knew it.
killed over the entire course. Sure, it doesn't have a lot of thrill. You never feel like Jason Statham is in danger, and that's the point. You can just vibe with that.
In some ways, Jason Statham's character isn't actually like the protagonist. I mean, no, he is the protagonist.
He's like
but like it's arguably as much about the FBI agent. Like
no, it's like Jason Statham is a force of nature, right?
yeah, exactly.
Coming to kill everything.
Like a honeybee.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's got a lot of John Wick in it, right? Like it's John Wick on steroids much.
I saw this movie in a surprisingly packed theater at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday.
That's real.
And
That's
I was also the youngest person there by at least 15 years.
That's hilarious.
Which was just, it was awesome.
Oh man! Oh wait, that's actually the best. Given how much contempt this film has for young people, that's like the best possible crowd to see it in.
So I don't know if any of you guys watched Jack Reacher.
I say contempt for young people who are maybe clear.
To finish my point, Ben. To finish my point.
All right. Yeah. Finish.
As I was walking out, the older couple in front of me, one of them asked the other, "Oh, it reminded me a lot of the John Wick movies. Have you seen those?" So you compared it to John Wick, and I wanted to let you know that you are not the only one.
The formula, it doesn't take rocket science. The formula is the same, right? You take a guy that's literally retired, doing whatever, is just taking care of his bees, like John Wick is taking care of his dog, and then you kill the dog.
Oh my God, they're the same fucking movie.
They're the same movie, except that the son is actually, the son of the president instead of the son of like a mob boss.
Oh shit! Oh
but
shit!
They're the same fucking movie. It's
now
the same.
And even like there's a reluctant protector figure in the father mobster in the first John.
Yeah, and also Jeremy Irons literally goes through the same thing. Is like, wow, in the mountain of fuck ups, you just did the worst.
Wait, oh my gosh, this is like
Ben,
literally.
Can you?
It's just like
John Wick. Can you draw any connection whatsoever between Alfie Allen and Josh Hutcherson? Because if you can, gold star for you.
I mean, they're both.
Are you kidding me? They're both misogynistic, like substance abuse users. All they do during the latter half when they know they're marked for death is just get as.
Bro, I'm talking about in real life to draw more connections.
Okay, so Josh Hudson was in Hunger Games,
yes,
which was popular around at a similar time that Game of Thrones was popular.
That's a
reach.
Therefore, that's a reach.
Yeah, that's right.
Josh Hutcherson and Alfie Allen are actually both in John Wick style movies.
No, there you go. That's a good. That's
about it. I'm sorry, but I was
I gotta bring up one thing about this film. I asked you guys a little bit about this before, but I saw this film was directed by a guy named Kurt I don't know if it's pronounced Vimmer or Wimmer, but yeah, but Kurt. I'm gonna say Kurt Vimmer, because that sounds cooler.
This
He's an
film is directed by
interesting.
David Ayer.
No,
Yeah,
no, it
what
was
was pretty
directed
cool.
by David Ayer, but it was written by Kurt Vimmer. And Vimmer's an interesting guy because I mainly know him from the two biggest films that he's directed. One is called Equilibrium, and the
Oh
other is
my
called
God, that's why you're
Ultraviolet.
asking about that. Wait, what was the
Yeah,
other?
it's called Ultraviolet.
Oh,
Um,
I know that one as well. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Ultraviolet sucks ass. It's like you think
His,
like, oh, it's gonna be so bad it's good. No, it sucks. You know, it's like it has interesting visuals, but it's so bad. Equilibrium is sort of cool because it's a bit ridiculous. But yeah, yeah, that one. That's the one.
yeah,
You got it.
Declan, that's an excellent point.
Mm,
Um, because both of them remind me of plots that are like really cool as a setup just for lots of action, but really
mm,
have no depth whatsoever.
mm, mm.
Um, and it's fine. That's fine.
Yeah.
This movie. So an hour and a half of Jason Statham kicking ass.
Yeah,
Um,
no, I was just gonna say it's like Equilibrium has it's a bit ridiculous, but it's also a hell of a lot of fun. But it like
also,
has a very complex like world to it, and I kind of felt like that was also the case here with the Beekeeper. Like,
well, that's what I'm saying. It alludes to a more complex world. It doesn't actually like
yeah,
develop that at all, which is
We're not
fine.
going to
exactly.
see the Beekeeper Chapter 2, Chapter 3, Parabellum, and Chapter 4.
Declan, that's actually an interesting point with Equilibrium, where the entire point is Christian Bale kills as many people to get to the top, which is like the head of the society, just like the president of the United
The High
States.
Table.
Mm.
The high table. To be fair, they took 4 movies to get there.
And you know what? We
Here,
loved
here,
every minute of all 4 of those
That's
movies.
it took 4 movies for them to go across the span of like a week.
yeah,
That's
yeah,
the
that is
difference.
actually.
Jason Statham, he's a very efficient. Okay, Keanu Reeves, I love him. His actions, characters not very efficient. They take way too long. Jason Statham's just like, all right, I gotta kill the son of the president.
Consequences.
Wow, let me just walk in with
Yeah.
freaking gas canisters to this one goddamn call center filled with obnoxious people and just burn.
It's great. It's so ridiculous. It's great, but it reminded me of Reacher, the TV show, not the movie. So Max, you have
The
seen?
Alan Richardson series.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome.
I mean, honestly, Reacher reminds me a lot. Like he hates young people. He's like young people's taste in music is terrible. He has no regard for the law. It's just like bad people deserve death. Let me give it to them. Very similar characters.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, but that's so
oh no,
good.
sorry.
Sorry, no, it's okay.
Can't watch Reacher without seeing Thad Castle. I'm sorry.
Just watch it, man.
Just watch it. It's
Watch
really
it.
good.
Damn, I might have to finally watch Reacher. But I'll say this. I feel like the setup, like the entire movie, like I feel like does a good job at like feeling like doing this weird balancing act of seriousness and insanity, like having like basically like Jason Statham's character is so serious and I love it like fully, but also the but also he's literally making references to bees constantly, even though
Yeah,
he doesn't have to.
There
And
are so many more bee puns in this movie than there were shark puns in either Meg movie.
that's fair. But have
And
you
that's a missed opportunity for both of the Meg movies.
absolutely.
But
See a
even though
chum.
see a chum
Like
is like built like take that let's not diss
That's
see
better than any line in this movie.
quite possibly.
Ben, I see your mind working right now. I defy you to tell me I'm wrong.
no. Look, yeah, it's a much better movie. I feel like they didn't let him improv enough on the Meg 2. That's their issue.
Mhm.
But I feel like Jason Statham always like that's his best role. Just, being that deadpan serious guy that just has cheeky one-liners all the time.
Mm.
And he's so good at it. And he does all the stunts himself.
You
It's just
know,
really entertaining. It's not critically
last
good, but
last week when we were talking about self-reliance, we mentioned how Jake Johnson basically plays the same character in everything,
Mhm.
whether it's, self-reliance, New Girl, Tag, Spider-Verse. He's the same guy in everything. And Jason Statham is a different side of a similar coin in that
Mhm.
he plays the same character in everything, but it's such a different character because that's
It
so much
is.
more what he's sort
that's
of
true.
like honed in
I
on in
really
his career that works for him.
It's not like he's an amazing actor, right? But he's a really good actor at doing what he does,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is taking his character and not just doing the same thing, but molding it into whatever he needs to. Like
Hmm.
he can be very, like if you ever watched Spy, I don't think it's a great movie, but he
Mm.
shows that he can be very comedic. He can make fun of himself. He can
Hmm.
adapt within that role, and that's a great thing to do. I mean, essentially, Matthew McConaughey does that, except for like a few times. Like Dallas Buyers Club, he really goes in the acting, but it's not a bad thing. Um,
We
I
get
think it's very Harrison Ford is probably the greatest example of what he does, which is taking your same role and molding it for whatever you need. Be, a little more apathetic, like Blade Runner, be a little more adventurous for Indiana Jones. Um, but he does have, a way of acting, and it works. If it works, don't fix
we
it.
we see a little bit of range early on in the movie when he's, uh sort of hanging out with Felicia Rashad's character early on and tending to his bees. And it's like, oh, this guy's a little bit more of a, I wouldn't say tender soul, but he's sort of got a he's a little bit more reserved, a little bit more quiet than some of Jason Statham's other characters, at least when we first meet him. And then, you know, he goes on his John Wick style rampage for the next hour and 40 minutes. And by the end, it's like, all right, he's wearing the black turtleneck and the gray blazer. And it's, oh, that's just Jason Statham. But there are moments where you can sort of pick out little bits of range there for old Jason Statham.
No, he honestly does have range.
No,
What I'm
yeah.
saying is like he works that range within what he's really good at.
Mhm.
But he's definitely got like War is an interesting one. It's not an amazing movie, but the ending's kind of interesting. Um, like Safe, he's got a few of them where
Yeah.
he actually does deal more in the acting range. Certainly the Guy Ritchie stuff,
Mm.
Lock,
Sure.
Stock, and Snatch.
Wrath of Man, that's a kind of intense
Wrath
one.
of Man is a very interesting one too. A man that is basically encompassing just one sin,
Mm.
and you can see it. He has no reservations. There's no one-liners really. It's just pure wrath.
Mm.
Um, so he definitely can do more than just generic action star, which is why I like him. Every movie feels like it's just Jason Statham movie, but it also feels like it has something new, something unique. The same thing but different.
Mm. And yeah,
Ben,
this
I
is
love that
this.
you love Jason Statham because as long as we do the pod, you're always gonna, push for the Jason Statham movie, and I'm 100% in.
Mm. Mm.
They're just fun. I mean, there
They're
are
fun.
very
Yeah.
few great Jason Statham movies that are not fun. Even if they're
Mm.
not good, they're fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's fair. I think that's fair. I think like the one thing about the movie that I would like slightly criticize is that like is that like be the film kind of had trouble with like how do I put this? In some of the action scenes, I sort of felt like there was like because half the people he's fighting are like so pathetic. It makes it like just the goons he's fighting almost like you almost feel like not bad for them, but it's like man, what are you guys doing?
I love see the point that you're making. I feel like I loved it in this movie, which is that they make a point of talking about all the qualifications of all the people that he's going against. You know, Navy SEALs and Jeremy Irons' character is like, yeah, they're a bunch of pussies. Like they make up this mythology.
Great line.
Like
great moment. Great delivery.
That was so
Where it's like it's not even that they're goons. They're not dumb. They're not unskilled. It's just Jason Statham is so much more of a badass. Even than the other, like they send another beekeeper at them, and he just lights them on fire. He's like,
the other beekeeper, strangest,
still way better than you.
Like that was such a strange like thing. Like they give like the
it felt like something
setup of like she's insane. But then it's like she has a
yeah, when she pulls out the minigun, it felt like something at a Sin City, like so bonkers.
Like I loved it, but also like what?
We went from 0 to 10 really fast in that gas station scene.
Yes.
Also, her outfit, it looks like something at a Sin City.
Was that the one scene that Kurt Wimmer was allowed like just complete creative control over David Ayer was like, you know what, Kurt, I'll do exactly what you say.
Maybe he wrote that scene. He's like, all right, now David, you've got to have a minigun. She's got to be in like a nurse's uniform.
But also sunglasses.
Yeah, and sunglasses and yeah.
Oh, and she fires the minigun while they're at the gas station. Yes.
Not smart.
Yes.
Into like the gas like contain like where the gas comes out of too. Even
half of me thought that Jason Statham was just gonna like run away and she would kill herself.
Yeah. Like also the fact that she is taken out in like the first scene. Like I guess the idea is like, oh, this is why the beekeepers are neutral because like they just needed to get rid of this insane beekeeper and now they're fine. But it's like it's just it's insane. It's like it helps the film.
Jeremy Irons also alludes to it. He's like the current iteration of beekeepers are insane.
Yeah.
And you don't really know what to expect, and then she comes.
Like,
Jeremy Irons is the only rational person in this movie.
He doesn't die, also, which I love. You know.
Yeah.
He's neutral evil, essentially.
I will say I also like the dynamic between what's the name of the two FBI agents who follow
Wiley
and Parker.
But it's like I like how was Parker, he's the father, right?
Yeah.
No, Wiley was.
Wiley and okay, yeah. I love how like Wiley low key got concussed and was like slightly like in the second half of the movie like slightly insane, not insane.
Of something.
Like he slightly should not be there, and the fact that it's like it's not.
And he
fully,
drove
like,
too.
What is it?
He was driving.
I was concerned about.
Yeah.
He was driving.
It like adds to like. To like the like insanity not insanity, just the sleep bizarre factor.
Like this takes place within like 2 days or something. The other cop was like drinking herself to death, like hungover the first day. Probably.
Well, she was emotionally distraught. Her mother killed herself the night before.
Yes, but she was drinking herself to death as well. Those are not exclusive, you know.
Fair enough.
Okay.
But it's like
they're pretty common together.
Yeah. I feel like the one that like it is sort of like I like how it's such a strange element how those two FBI agents they're following him out of like just kind of like, well, we gotta do it. It's like they don't even like by the end of it, she doesn't even want to stop him at all.
I think Wiley started doing that after Jason Statham was like, "Oh yeah, I know you got 4 kids, 3 boys, 1 girl," and he just, like, unloads the gun and just leaves.
Yeah,
you know what? This guy's okay. He's just 5 guys, and he spared me.
I think this movie did really well what a lot of action movies fail to do, and that's establish a moral gray area for the main character.
I gotta
Mhm.
give credit to, I guess, partially the choreography, I guess partially the visual effects. But anytime he shoots like the FBI agents or Secret Service, any of the non-bad guys, he shoots them in the Kevlar vests.
Yeah,
Get
yeah.
knocked out. But and then he shoots all like, the rogue like mercenaries and stuff, just kills them outright.
Also, the main
Like,
mercenary guy at the end, what the fuck accent did that guy have? Was it
That's
I
French?
don't know. His side parts were crazy. He had one leg.
Was he French or British or Australian?
South African.
It's like the transatlantic accent, but the trans-European accent. Just combine all of them. There's a place out in Connecticut.
Max, you might be right. He might be South African.
I think South African.
That could be good.
It could be.
But
But,
anyway, this movie establishes a lot of different sides really well.
Mm.
I'm not saying it's a truly well constructed sort of character dynamic,
No.
but you get who the bad guys are. You get that Jason
Mm.
Statham is a good guy, even if his methods are extremely graphically violent.
Mm.
Then you've got the sort of lawful good, which is the FBI.
Mm.
But then there are all these different layers with the president and the beekeepers, and each sort of organization, the CIA deputy director, who what a kill
Yeah.
right there for Josh Hutcherson.
Dude, I was not expecting that.
No, oh yeah, I literally,
Pulls out the gun, shoots the assistant FBI. It's like, Mom, I'm gonna take you hostage.
Yeah, like I literally said like, oh, like or
Oh.
something when that happened.
And he
Like,
would have shot his mom too.
Yeah,
He was about
literally
to.
said,
He was about to
"Goodbye,
shoot her.
Mom."
It's like it is.
What the fuck?
You know, that moment reminded me, and I hate that I'm making this comparison.
Oh God.
That moment reminded me a lot of the climax of 21 Jump Street when Rob Riggle's character takes Brie Larson's character hostage, and Dave Franco is like, "What are you doing?" And Rob Riggle's like, "I've never taken a hostage before. I don't really know what this is all about. Apparently, we're doing this now." It's like,
honestly, like
he doesn't like Josh Hutcherson doesn't know how to take a hostage. He doesn't really know how any of this crime stuff works
Yeah.
in terms of like
Well, he got
shooting
the
and
gun to
action
the
and
head.
fighting. He's
But,
more about intellectual crime, even though he's a
Mm.
complete dumbass.
Yeah.
So he's
I
sort
love
of
when
falling
mom
into
is
this
like-
role in the moment, and it's crazy.
I love when the mom is like, "You're a really handsome boy." God doesn't give in both ways.
Yeah. Their dynamic is bizarrely like funny, like in terms of like it's a standard like trope of like the overbearing mother and like
I really like that it teases the big reveal though. It's like, who is this person? You think it's like a congressperson,
yeah,
Oh,
that is
I could have seen that she
literally
was
the
president from a mile away. That was so obvious.
Admittedly, though, it's like it does feel
It's not surprising though.
that like the son of the first female president would be someone who's like deeply involved with like huge areas of fraud and crime and all
I just
that.
want to say that as much as I love this movie, it's a ridiculous premise. It follows the hacking rules of what those shady like companies are pretty much all operated in India, mainly Calcutta. But you can't steal that much money. That's not
Yeah,
like they don't arrest those
Data
people.
mining only goes so far.
yeah.
You can't steal, like literally the banks will stop that.
Literally, she got the fraud detected messages. Like what that like theoretically
You literally just say no, this wasn't me, and they don't send the $10 million or $2 million.
Yeah. There are a lot of easy fixes to this movie, but you know what?
It's kind of fun though because I hate those people. Anybody that steals from the elderly,
I agree.
That's right. It's worse than like stealing from a child.
Ben, you don't have to directly quote the movie. We know you're basing your personality on Jason Statham's character.
Not my personality, but my ethics.
Your moral code.
My moral code. So
Your
if I
moral compass is
still-
determined by whatever role Jason Statham most recently played.
What did like I gotta bring this up. Like I feel like I have to, representing the state and all. It was kind of funny to me how this film is not just like this film is very explicitly in Massachusetts. Like repeatedly referencing Springfield and
Garbage
like
dump of a state. Go on.
Boston.
Sorry,
Boston.
not a state, Commonwealth, not even good enough to be a state.
For the people with actual opinions that I respect. What Ben Max? What did you think of that aspect? No, I don't know. No, but
That's your question?
no, I don't know. I was trying to tell people that George, I don't respect. I'm sorry.
There are
Finish your
so
thought,
many
it's
more
okay.
states in Massachusetts. Like, I don't know.
I mean, there's no giant like chase sequence through the stands at Fenway Park.
True.
It's not like extreme. Like you watch the music
Heck, when I
video for
played Fallout 4,
Mm.
I don't care that it was
You-
set in Boston.
you watch the music video for the Ylvis song Massachusetts, and there's more Massachusetts in that 4-minute video than there is in this hour and 45-minute movie that's set in Massachusetts.
That's
Oh,
true.
yeah. Fair,
Also,
fair.
where is the ending scene? Is that like the White House? I have no idea.
That's like
they said the lake
private
house.
estate.
Lake
The
house.
lake house.
So I guess you have to assume it's like
Wait a minute.
So Island
The
USA.
lake house. So the body of water that Jason Statham ends up in at the end of the movie is a fucking lake.
Yeah.
You're telling me the Secret Service couldn't surround the lake?
The thing, look, the thing that you really
It was
can't
clearly an ocean.
you
we have to assume
can't
it's like the Hamptons
predict
or something
where
like
Jason
that.
Statham's gonna end up. Oh no!
For a second, he froze.
All right, never mind.
No.
You okay?
Yeah, I lagged for a second.
No, I was worried too. We
We're
couldn't
good.
do this.
We're good.
This
We're
episode
good.
without
Yeah, we're good. We're good. Don't do that, George. Stop doing that.
It's
But
happened
no,
too many
it's-
times for me to make jokes about it.
I'll also
Georgie needs a new laptop.
I'll also say one other thing that was just kind of silly, but I have to point out as well, is how the Secret Service apparently has a like SWAT division with a bunch of dudes with a thing that just says Secret Service like right on their armor. It's like
They have that.
That's
That's
is that-
standard.
is
that's
that-
what they do.
That's standard. That's literally what they look like when they're standing outside the White House.
Declan,
They're
I
not.
want
They're not
you to-
all the dudes in the
The
suits.
the security detail are the ones that wear either plain clothes or suits, earpieces. But there is Secret Service that are more
that
military,
are armor. Okay,
Declan,
good, okay.
and they travel with the president at all times.
Mhm.
I want you to also understand that pretty much any police, federal organization like that is going to have armored people because it just makes sense.
Mhm.
My
Like, if you
biggest
didn't,
issue was
you'd be
how
kinda
the Secret
screwed
Service
in
fucking
scenarios.
disappeared from the president's side.
Oh, this is bad.
When
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
so bad.
that's-
Not a single person went
However-
to check on the president when they knew that he was in the vicinity.
Here's
No
my theory.
way.
She's in a
Here's my
private
theory.
meeting with her son and the deputy director of the FBI,
Yeah,
and then there's a gunshot,
immediately
and
you're sending
nobody
everybody.
moves in to check.
Here is my theory. Okay, Jason Statham has played a lot of Assassin's Creed, and he took
Hmm.
every single person in the
Yeah.
perimeter before going inside, so
Hmm.
nobody could check. Wow, they're unconscious.
It's all done.
That's my theory.
Also, the fact that he had like
Ben.
a suitcase for himself that he buried in the sand nearby, like
I
hours earlier.
I
Ben,
stopped
there are more
watching-
holes in that theory about him knocking out everybody than there are in the plot of him getting underneath the armored truck and knocking out the guy who was checking it, replacing him, and then just walking in with a backpack when no other agent has a backpack.
it's feasible.
With a
Like you think
skateboard.
think
With a
someone would have been
skateboard.
Thank you, Max. It's a skateboard.
yeah.
Feasible.
And
You think
he
someone
does
would have said
the
like,
classic
"Hey, what are
like
you doing? There's still more
cartoon
traps
moment.
coming in."
There's
I
the classic
stopped-
cartoonish moment where he's like, "Whoops, forgot the skateboard on the ground." Yup.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
stopped questioning Jason Statham's logic behind stunts a long time ago. He does them. All right.
Yeah.
If he's magic, I don't know.
As
Yeah,
soon
but
as he
like
punched a
nobody
shark,
heard him choking out the dude underneath the truck that's probably like 2 feet off the ground.
No,
Yeah.
just like nobody heard
Okay.
the guy getting choked by the chains in his warehouse.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
He's like, wait, no, I can't stab this dude. That'll be too loud. Let me
there are so many
metal chain.
brutal kills in this movie.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
when he like
Yeah.
ratchets the guy to the pickup and then sends it off the
Yeah, after cutting off
drawbridge.
his fingers.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, cutting
And
off
the
the
other
fingers
thing
is
that's
really bad.
Brutal. I really thought he was gonna let him live, like, survive another day just to kill him later on in the movie, and then he just shows up and he's like, nope,
No,
now now's your
it's
time.
what Andy Serkis's character does in Black Panther. You got to leave the crime scene a little bit spread out.
Oh,
Mhm. Was Andy Serkis's
His
character
claw.
from Black Panther the inspiration for the main bad guy at the end with the crazy hair? Like, were they doing the same like accent?
No, because Andy Serkis is like British, isn't he? Or,
Yeah,
No.
and this
I
guy
don't
was.
even know what
I
he
think
is.
Max was right. I think this guy was South African.
Andy
Mhm.
Serkis also had an African accent.
Mhm.
he actually though.
He does.
Is he South African?
In real life, I don't think so.
Like a real person. Huh?
Yeah, Andy Serkis himself is British, but I thought you
Hmm.
meant his accent in Black
Black
Panther.
Panther.
To be honest, I never paid enough attention, I guess.
Mhm.
It's not British in Black Panther.
Well, it would make sense that he would be South African. He would be an African
Yeah.
in that movie.
Yeah, true.
So maybe it's a similar accent, Declan. You're right.
I mean, it's just British people that went to Africa, right?
True.
There are no Dutch people.
So
People do not exist.
in The Beekeeper, and don't say Felicia Rashad. What was your favorite kill?
Jesus, George.
I don't. After that, I don't know what I want to answer.
The
Guys,
But it's not like that's my answer. I'm just saying nobody be fucked up enough to say that.
you
Yeah.
didn't
I don't
say
think
that, though.
anybody
Who
was
would-
thinking that
Who
answer,
would
George.
say that? They're off the pot if they said that.
I know who I'm dealing with here. I know who I'm dealing with. Anyway, go.
I
Uh,
think
Rank us from least to most likely to have said it.
the fact
No comment.
I gotta quickly say the fact that when the pickup truck drove off the bridge, there was very clearly a dummy that they used to like represent him as he's being pulled down. That like detail alone, I think, made it my favorite kill there. It was just like so insane. I think I'm gonna go with that one.
I forgot that guy's name, but I liked his kill because it's like a thrill kill where he's being stalked. All of his goons are just dead, and he's freaking out. And then he loses his fingers, gets out, manages to drive away, call his boss, and then Jason Statham just shows up and kills him. Just
And then steals his car.
Yeah.
steals his car, steals his phone. That's unbelievable. Like,
Don't
that's a serial
steal.
killer,
Yeah.
Like,
Oh no! Wait, no.
like just Jason style.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mine was the deputy director of the FBI or
Yeah,
CIA. That
was
was
pretty good.
insane.
It was such a what the fuck moment.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You expect Josh Hutcherson to just be a giant pussy,
Yeah.
and then he just shoots the assistant.
It's just like, oh my god.
That's
Yeah. Oh, also the gas station, killing the active beekeeper. Since Ben said the bridge one, I'll change mine to that five. The fact that it looked like a real stunt that they did. She felt like.
I mean, the
like
jacket
on
she was
fire.
wering was probably flame retardant.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
that
I don't know,
was-
but like the fact that it was it looked like either it was convincing as hell CGI or a real stunt, but whatever it is, it was cool.
The entire thing would have to be flame retardant. They don't do those stunts without full protection.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've only worked on small budget shorts.
They use like a full body suit, and then they dress them up and flame
Do
retardant.
you have any explosions in Putt Putt where
It
someone
would.
Again, you're
lights on
just gonna
fire?
have to wait and watch.
All right, all
I'll
right.
take at least 50 explosions. I'm walking in.
Walking out, Ben, it's gonna be on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm walking in my own house.
Good, take Maggie with you.
Yeah.
This is it's a standard action movie, but it's awesome because it's Jason Statham killing a bunch of guys for an hour 45.
No, it's not standard. It's Jason Statham, actually. All right.
It's I think ultimately of the Jason Statham movies we've reviewed, unless I'm forgetting, I think I would say
Done 3.
this is
Three.
yeah, it has been 3. Like
Yeah,
okay,
it was
good.
Operation Fortune, Meg 2, and now
Yeah.
Beekeeper.
So I would say this is unambiguously better than Meg 2. I would say that I think I probably liked Operation Fortune a little bit more. I feel like it was more cohesive, but still on the scale of Jason Statham movies, this is good ones.
Let's just say I want a sequel to all three of those. So
yeah.
What's Meg 3's subtitle gonna be?
The Underground.
They're based on books, so there might be a Meg 3. There might be a title already.
aren't there like 8? Aren't there like 20 books? There's like a
There's
whole
20?
There's like a whole bunch of them.
Who wrote 20 of the Meg books? That's crazy.
And it was probably the same people who have made 7 Sharknado movies.
Meltdown. That's it. The Meg 3 Meltdown. And then the Meg 4, The Adventures of Buck. What's the name? Where are the Ice Age?
Are you going Ice Age on me?
Dinosaurs.
You're going full Ice Age on me, okay.
Yeah.
There's 8.
Torture
And
titles.
there's 8.
8. Oh, that's way too many stuff.
Meg 8, The Ocho.
Yeah, I would say Operation Fortune is a lot more like fun with the comedy, but I enjoy this movie more as a Jason Statham action movie just because it's truer to form, you know.
It's more of a Jason Statham action movie than a ensemble comedy with Jason Statham as the lead.
Yeah, exactly.
Fair.
If you like The Beekeeper, you should watch The Mechanic.
Mm.
That's a great one. And then the Transport movies, they're fun. You know, there's just so many. Just watch all of them.
Well, Ben's social media is in the description below. Definitely hit him up when you watch every single Jason Statham movie there's ever been.
Mm. Yeah.
And in the meantime, I got nothing else. You guys,
Go have fun with it.
yeah, go watch The Beekeeper. See it on a big screen.
Mm.
It's fun. It's, you know, you don't really have to think for an hour 45. Just use it as an escape from the horrors of the real world.
Amen.
Yeah.
So we will be back next week. We're playing Funky Films. Should be an absolute blast. In the meantime, enjoy The Beekeeper. We'll see you next week.
Yep.
Good night.
See ya.